Didn't expect that much laughter. Cool, Maastricht. Because you're fat and you're loud. And I've been in Europe for 20 years, and I'm here to tell you, when I moved to Europe 20 years ago, I was only loud! Yeah. I live here in the Netherlands. I don't live here in Maastricht, but I do live here in the Netherlands. And I think like most foreigners that come to this country, we look up to the Dutch, we admire the Dutch, and then we question, how is it that they grew big and tall? And they always tell me things like, yes, we eat cheese and we grow big and tall. It's a trick. Don't listen to them. Don't listen to these Dutchies. I think it's a trick. You know those mythical creatures? They steal your youth and beauty. You age rapidly and they stay young forever. That is what Dutch people do with their food. They're like, if you eat this, you will grow tall. I just grew outwards. This is 20 years of trying to eat cheese to get bigger. So fuck you in your frickin' Dale. Yes. Whenever, as an American, somebody claimed there were no other Americans in this room, which I don't believe. Statistically, that can't. Yeah, I knew there was one. But you must be one of the good ones because you stayed quiet. No, it's okay. Stay quiet. It's fine. I only got 10 minutes here, buddy. Just stay with that one. No, but it's true. As an American abroad, we do get a lot of shit because, you know, of all the stuff we do in the world, and that's fair, and I understand that. I totally get that. But sometimes I don't want to have that conversation, so I have a little get-out-of-hell-free card. When people say, you're from America? Huh? You're from America? I'm like, yeah, but I'm from Alaska. Every time. They're like, oh my God, is it a puppy? And instantly everyone wants to talk about the cruise their grandmother took to Alaska, or the reality TV series that they watch, like Ice Road Truckers, Gold Planners, Alaska State Troopers, or possibly my favorite. Do you guys know the TV series Boer zoekt een vrouw? Yes, it's about farmers searching for a wife, if you don't speak Dutch. The Dutch kind of invented reality TV, so there's a lot of, you know, other countries around the world sort of copy it. But the thing is, people will always say things like, oh, I heard there's just like a lot of men and not a lot of women in Alaska. Yeah, I heard that. Statistically, they say there's 4 men to every 1 woman. Yeah, 4 men to every 1 woman. Yeah, and so they invented a reality series where they brought Dutch women to Alaska to try to get Alaskan men to get a wife. But what these Dutch women learned, that even though the odds are good, the goods are odd. Yeah, you think the deadliest catch is about fishing? No. It's about dating in Alaska. You know that whole thing where it's like, would you rather run into a bear in the woods or a man in the woods? Well, having run into both in the woods, I'm telling you, it's the bear. And I love that when people are like, well, how do you even know? And I was like, I'm from Alaska. I've run into lots of bears in woods. It's kind of our thing, yeah? But it's great. People always sort of ask you all kinds of fun questions. They're like, oh my God, what's it like to grow up in Alaska? Oh, look, it's just like anywhere else. I think we're in this room tonight. We've got a lot of people from all over the world. You probably heard this when you were a kid. Your parents would say something like, hey, come back when it's dark. Does that sound familiar to you? Come back when it's dark. Same thing in Alaska. But when your parents say that to you, you're like, okay, I'll see you in September. You know, that's what it's like to grow up in Alaska. And of course, in the springtime, we're so obsessed with the ice melting. We put a machine on the ice. And when the ice breaks and the machine drops into the water, it stops the time. And we take bets. Like, that's going to happen on, like, April the 24th at 4 in the afternoon, right? Or May the 3rd at 2:54 p.m. We take bets on ice melting in Alaska. That's how much we're into it. Yeah. And of course, my family, we'd have a little internal bet, like, is it going to snow and stay on the ground before or after Halloween? And I don't mean this stuff that you get here in the Netherlands where it's like, oh, look, snow, rain. Snow, rain. You know, it just kind of bloop, melts right away. You know, you can already kind of tell when the snow is coming because you see it on the mountains, you know, making its way. Sorry, Dutch people, a mountain. Now, it is cute here in Maastricht. I do like that you guys have a little bit of an incline. But I don't think we're ever going to call that a mountain. And for the foreigners, you probably don't know this because maybe you didn't learn Dutch, because why would you in the Netherlands? Seriously. But there's actually no Dutch word for a mountain. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. True story, yeah. I can see the Dutch people, their assholes are clenching like, we make stuff up at a comedy show. Who knows? But this one's really, really true. There's actually no word for the sun in Dutch. Yeah. No, obviously there's a word. You just don't know what it looks like. But this one's really true. There's actually no word for having flavor in your food. No, what else? What else is it like being from Alaska? Sometimes people just shout Sarah Palin at me. Sarah Palin. Like, I don't know if you know what it's like to be known by your worst politician. I mean, Germans, you get it, but it's not great. Does anyone know any other famous Alaskans? Anybody know any other famous Alaskans? Yeah, why would you? Why would you? Why would you? If you're a little bit older, maybe you've heard of the musician Jewel. She's from Alaska. No, one. You looked at him as if he's the older one. Like, you old guy. No. And then this one's really obscure. I'm not even going to tell you his name, but maybe you heard this story. There was an astronaut in space, and he was having sex with a lady astronaut in space. I mean, she's technically still just an astronaut because women are allowed to be astronauts. I could call them both astronauts, but for the purpose of this story, you understand that they are having sex. That's what I want you to know. Not in space, just to be clear. I know you're confused. But these two people are eventually having sex. But it turns out he's also having sex with another lady astronaut who happens to be on the ground. And these two are in space in their space plane, and they land in the ground. And they're supposed to land in Texas, but they land in Florida, which is like 1 billion kilometers away. You don't know. Why would you know? And so the lady on the ground has devised a plan to kidnap the space lady. And because the plane got diverted to Florida, I know it's a shuttle, guys. Come on, bear with me here. Because it got diverted to Florida, she had to drive non-stop, defecating on herself, basically shitting herself in diapers, like adult diapers, non-stop for like 1,600 kilometers to go kidnap this lady in Florida. And then it turns out that she didn't have a plan. So when she went and knocked on the lady's car window, because she was like, hey, what's up? She just like rolled down her window just like a little bit and was like, hey, what's up? And she's like, I'm here to kidnap you. And the woman just rolled her window back up. That's it. That's the story. No kidnapping. She got arrested for attempted kidnapping. Okay, look, what I'm getting at is the guy in the middle of that, he's from Alaska. It's like the third most famous Alaskan. But I'll tell you what it's like being from Alaska. We don't have the same points of references. A lot of stuff doesn't grow up there. And so I was in Germany in high school as an exchange student, and I saw a little fruit stand, and I saw these fruits by the side of the road that I didn't know what it was. And I asked my German sister, what's that? And she goes, oh, that's a kiwi. I was like, what? Why does my fruit look like it needs to shave? I'm like, what's going on here? You know? But at least I knew what a kiwi, I'd heard of a kiwi, I didn't know what it looked like. But I was at a party at 19, and I see some green stuff, and there's a bag of chips. And I said, what's that? My friend goes, that's guacamole. And I was like, oh, what's guacamole? And he's like, oh, guacamole is just like smashed up avocados. And I was like, what is an avocado? I'd never heard of an avocado, never heard of it. He opened the bag of chips, he threw it at me. He said, you're welcome. And that is why I could never buy a house. Yeah. But true story, my mother came to visit me here in the Netherlands, and she tried some local avocado. And as we all know, produce in the Netherlands is not that great, but compared to Alaska, it's amazing. So she tried this avocado, and she said, do you think I can smuggle this back to Alaska? And I said, Mom, to be honest, that's not the green stuff normal people try to smuggle out of the Netherlands. My name is Kendra. I'm going to give you back the